So, as firefighters, do we ever just let a house burn? The answer is yes. Sometimes we do. But before you draw conclusions as to how bad that sounds, let me explain to you why that is sometimes the case. What it comes down to is something that we call incident tactical priorities. So, in the fire service industry, we have three primary tactical priorities. They are life safety, incident stabilization, and thirdly, property conservation. So, life safety, that would be life safety of the firefighters and life safety of the public, of course. Number two is incident stabilization. What we mean by incident stabilization is ensuring that whatever is going wrong, whatever the emergency is, that it's not getting worse. So let's take a fire, for example. A fire starts, it grows in size, the emergency is getting worse, it's getting really bad, and then eventually all of the fuel burns up and the fire starts to die and it starts to, in a sense, get better. But what we want to do with incident stabilization is we want to stop that curve, right? We want to intervene and say, hey, you know what? We haven't solved all the problems, but it's not getting worse right now. And then the third tactical priority is property conservation. So this is where we are making an intervention in order to stop the loss of property. Okay, so the second one is to stop the incident from getting worse, and the third one is specifically limited to property conservation. Okay, so back to the controversial statement of, do firefighters sometimes just let houses burn? Let's look at this through our three tactical priorities, and hopefully it makes a little bit of sense to you. Okay, so let's say we've got a house fire, okay? We arrive on scene, and I'm on the first in fire engine, and someone on the driveway says, hey, my kid is in that bedroom right there, and they point to it. That window right there is his bedroom window. We've got a fire downstairs. Maybe we've got a fire in the basement. Well, am I going to go put that fire out, or am I going to go rescue that kid? Instinctively, we all know, well, you're going to go try to rescue the person, right? That is our tactical priorities playing out in real time, right? So life safety, this individual's life is at risk. We are going to do what we can to mitigate that immediately. Even though we haven't done anything with the fire yet. The fire is getting worse. That incident is not stabilized, but incident stabilization is our second priority. So we're going to prioritize life safety first. Okay? Let's look at a second option. Let's say we pull up to a house fire, and I'm on the first in fire engine. There's only one fire truck there, which means we've got someone driving the fire engine. We've got a captain or an officer who's directing the scene. We've got two firefighters in the back, maybe three if we're lucky, but most of the time it's just two of us. We've got 500 gallons of water on this fire truck. So we get there, and people are on the driveway, and they say, hey, everybody's out of the house. We look to the neighbors. They are all on their driveways, and they say, hey, everybody is out of our houses too. Okay, good. We do not have a life safety concern for the public. This is what we call as firefighters bringing the life safety hazard to the scene. The only life safety hazard immediately here is the risk to firefighters themselves. So we want to be aware of that, and we want to keep our firefighters safe, but it brings the level of concern down that we don't have public at risk. Okay, so let's say this house, which is in the middle here, it's got two houses on either side of it. Let's say it is fully involved. When we say a structure fire is fully involved, we mean that every area of that house is on fire. What that means is that that house is a total loss. There's nothing to be saved in there anymore. Even if it's not burnt down to the foundation, even if we were to put the fire out, all that's going to be left is charred pieces of wood that the insurance company is going to come in and they're going to say, you know what, we can't rebuild this house. We're going to knock it down. We can't renovate this house. We're going to knock it down. We're just going to build a brand new one. that is the scenario where firefighters may decide to let a house burn. Because guess what? We've got houses on either side that are starting to catch on fire. Maybe the siding is starting to melt, or you can see steam coming off of the roof, right? We want to incident priority, tactical priority number 2 is incident stabilization. We want to make sure that that emergency incident doesn't get worse than it already is. So we're going to let that middle house burn while firefighters pull hoses and protect both of the houses on each side that have not yet caught on fire. So hopefully this is making sense as to why we may let that house burn in order to carry out our second tactical priority. Now, let's look at an example where we have the third tactical priority coming into play. So let's say we have a kitchen fire in a large apartment building. It's a small fire. Maybe there was a pot on the stove and it worked its way up into the cabinetry. Let's also say that all of the apartment units in that apartment building are occupied. There's people in them. So firefighters, we get on scene. What do we do? Do we let that fire burn because, hey, we have to protect life, right? Or can we go put that fire out? And these are some of these split-second decisions that firefighters have to make on every call they go to. So let's walk through it. If a firefighter goes into that unit, maybe we kick in the door and we take a look and, yeah, we got a small kitchen fire here. Everyone's out of that apartment building, but the whole building is still occupied. Everyone's out of that apartment unit, but the whole building is still occupied. If I go in there and if I can put that fire out really quick, I can serve property, right? So all the belongings of that person's unit, hopefully they are not all damaged or lost. We stabilize the incident because if I put the fire out while it's still small, it's obviously not getting any worse. The incident's not getting bigger. And if I put that fire out, everybody else in their apartment units, they're safe. There's no hazard to their lives. So even though the tactical priorities are life safety, incident stabilization, and property conservation, it doesn't mean that we can't attack the bottom one first if in doing so we accomplish the two above it, right? So if I was to not attack that small kitchen fire and was to say, hey, you know what? Life safety is first. We're going to go through and we're going to evacuate this entire building. Well, that's going to take us some time to do that. While we do that, that fire has grown. Now that initial apartment unit is fully involved, all their belongings are lost, and it's probably spreading smoke into the hallways and now endangering life, right? So if I can attack that from the bottom, take care of the property conservation first, we can accomplish the other two higher tactical priorities. So again, that middle one is that controversial statement where you're actually going to let a house burn in order to fulfill the tactical priorities of incident stabilization. But hopefully we can accomplish all three by conserving property and even starting at the bottom. I hope that makes a little bit of sense for you guys. Take care.